It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso here in S3, and this morning we discuss how looking backward to look forward now could actually be the best tip you received to get into gear for 2022 with Nikki Bush, human potential and parenting expert and author of the brand new book, Future Proof Yourself. Nikki, an honor and a pleasure. After a long year, we're a bit bushed, so it's good to chat to you.
Thank you, Carl. Thanks for that pun. No pun intended, I'm assuming.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Why would I pun? We're talking about serious business here. But Nikki, it's great to have you. And I just wanted to kind of unpack this with you because are you saying we need to kickstart 2022 right now? And why would you say that?
Yes, actually I am, Carl, because what tends to happen is we sort of crawl to the end of the year and then we get to the last couple of days of December and then we think the whole, of 2022 is going to be so different to 2021, and we tend to find people literally dropping into an emotional and mental slump in January, let alone the fact that the money is scarce in January as well. So what I really would be saying to all of our viewers right now is take stock of 2021 now in November, before we even get to December. Look back at the year that has happened, that has gone by, and celebrate how far you have come. And this will energize you to feel optimism as you look forward, and renewed energy and gratitude really for what's happened in the year. And it really is a great antidote to this phenomenon of languishing that is plaguing so many at this critical time of the year, this like meh feeling. And I actually did an exercise 2 weekends ago where I put together a PowerPoint presentation of my year in pictures. And this is what I really want to encourage people to do today.
So the encouragement is actually warranted because I think about the festive season, it goes on fast forward. I feel like the festive season and your leave are the fastest things that happen on any given year. And by the time you hit January, you're not even ready for what you haven't unpacked just yet. So this is great advice. But what do you mean by looking back to look forward? I think I want to actually get a bit deeper into that.
Okay, so what I want you to do is capture your year in Technicolor. And this is not a numbers empirical measurement of your year. I actually want people to look at their year with curiosity and interest to regain perspective and equilibrium. And when I say we're going to capture our year in pictures and in Technicolor, I want you to open up a PowerPoint presentation. I call it Reflections of 2021. And I want you to look at your year through 3 lenses, 3 categories. The one is joy, the other is growth, and the third is excellence. You can actually look at your year in these 3 categories. I promise you, it's going to explode in front of you. If you're feeling a bit down and a bit sluggish right now, look back to look forward. Get that cell phone out, because I promise you, you've been capturing pictures all year in these 3 categories of joy, growth, and excellence, and pull those photographs into your PowerPoint presentation. And by the way, this is a private PowerPoint presentation. This is your movie of your year, especially for you.
I love it. We get to make our own movie of 2021, which is great because I think that visual sort of reflection it's quite tangible as opposed to just saying, oh, I did that when? March? I love this concept so much. And I think that, including myself, many people would like to get hold of the Reflections of 2021 template. Where can we get that, Nikki?
Right, so you can find that at nikkibush.com and just go into the search bar and put Reflection Template and it'll come up. It's free. Download it and get cracking, because it's going to give you that framework to get started, and everybody needs a little kickstart every now and again.
Nikki, we need to continue this conversation in the next couple of moments. I want to give you a moment to reflect on what we just said. Nikki will be back in a bit. Stay with us at your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso here in S3. In case you missed it, I've been chatting to somebody so amazing. We've been discussing the importance of some self-reflection, especially at the end of the year, with human potential and parenting expert Nikki Bush, and she's got some more tips to give. Now, in case you missed it, Nikki had this concept about joy, right? That was one of them. It is growth and excellence. And I'm calling them the JGEs. This should be a t-shirt. But I want to unpack each one of these letters, starting with J. What should we be looking at to celebrate joy, Nikki?
So joy is about what made you feel light and happy. What sparked joy for you? And it can be the smallest of things. And I want you to engage your senses when you think about joy. So sight, sound, touch, smell, taste. Go and look at those pictures on your cell phone, and I promise you, you're going to find lots of things that brought you joy this year. Pull them into your reflections template, and there's no limit to how many you're going to pull in. And it could be small things, like for me, I love gardening. And for me, if there's been rain or heavy dew, seeing those little gray rock roses, those succulents, with that drop of water that looks like a diamond, I find myself always taking photographs of things like that. Or maybe you've got a new relationship that's brought you joy. What about if you've got the arrival of a grandchild? You know, when you look on Facebook, anybody who's become a grandparent talks about the joy of being a grandparent. I did a wilderness walk. That brought joy for me. So what is it that sparked joy for you? This is a feeling. So engage with your feelings.
Engaging with feeling. I'm loving this. Let's go to our next letter, which is G, and that is growth. Now, how does one examine our own growth? It sounds a bit of a challenge.
Well, self-reflection is what all really successful people are good at. They do it every day, they do it every week, and obviously this particular Reflections of 2021 is an annual thing that we're doing. So when we examine our growth, we need to ask ourselves, how have we grown and changed in the past year? Find pictures that express this growth that you've experienced. It might not be stuff that you can measure empirically, which is another reason for using pictures to describe your year. And I tend to find that joy and growth, in fact, growth is the biggest part of my personal PowerPoint presentation. And if you think about it, any new skills that you've acquired. Now, last year, I acquired a lot of virtual presenting skills. This year, I've actually acquired a lot of nursing skills because I've been nursing people through COVID. Who knew that I would put this into growth? Okay. Patience and gratitude. Perhaps you've kickstarted a new business or maybe a new product line. Maybe you have done some new training at work that's upskilled you. And what about a fitness goal? You know, some people have a fitness goal for the year. They wanted to, do a 10-kilometer run or a marathon maybe. And also discovering your strengths. And this is something I've been doing with a lot of teams and businesses this year, helping them to discover the strengths and the gifts that they actually bring to the team that they belong to. And then the last thing I would say is look at real relationships with yourself, as well as any relationships maybe you've mended or expanded that have healed or have blossomed during this year. And it brings you that feeling of satisfaction. You know, success is important, but success without a feeling of satisfaction is empty.
I love that concept so much. We've done J, we've done G, Nikki. Let's go over to something that I think is a bit more difficult in my opinion. Given the fact that social media has created a lot of false benchmarking in terms of what excellence is, how do we recognize excellence within ourselves?
So, Carl, excellence is going to be the tiniest section of your reflections template, because excellence has got to be better than good. And so it's got to be a goal that you've really worked hard at. Maybe you've been acknowledged for something exceptional. I have a friend who's in her 70s who looks after the environment. She's a speaker on environmental issues. And my goodness, in her 70s, she is getting awarded from places around the world. Now that's excellence. For me, excellence this year is going to be the publication of my new book, Future Proof Yourself. And we're likely to only have maybe 1, 2, or 3 things under excellence. So don't get worried that you don't have a lot. So what is better than good in your world?
So what is better than good? I think you are better than good, Nikki Bush, just to let you know. But I think the last little bit is you're giving us a proposal of quite a visual reflection experience here, a visual reflection exercise. So the question from my side is that why is this so important to actually see these things? What does it do for somebody?
I think when you see something, it's creates a visceral reaction in you. It creates an emotional connection to where you've been and what you've done. And when you look at your life through the lenses of joy, growth, and excellence, well, I wish for every viewer a sense of satisfaction, of a life well lived in the past year, a renewed sense of purpose, an acknowledgement of your progress and your growth, and a sense of, look how far I've come, or look how far we've come. I can do this. I've got this. And the hard work and the effort and the commitment really was worth it for that sense of satisfaction.
I feel that sense right now after that conversation. I'm really inspired, and I think it's so important to take stock and reflect on this year, mobilizing for 2022, and you've done that for us here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Thank you so much, Nikki Bush. Have the most incredible day, and we cannot wait to read your book.
Thank you, Carl. Lovely to be with you.
Nikki Bush, our human potential and parenting expert. Make sure to get hold of that resource on our website. It's on the screen right now. And remember, reflection is okay. It's just going to mobilize you and get you ready for an epic 2022.